and other infrastructures within their immediate host communities. Industrial advancement, best practices. SP members share best practices and lessons learned, promoting innovation and excellence in the oil, gas, and energy industry. R&D, research and development. SP members collaborate on research and development projects, advancing the science and technology of petroleum engineering. Sustainability initiatives. SP members promote sustainability and environmental responsibility, encouraging the industry to adapt best practices and reduce its environmental footprint. So bringing it home, SP Nigerian Council, and then under SP Nigerian Council, we have about 6 sections. Okay. Community outreach programs. SP organizes community outreach programs, promoting education, health, and environmental initiatives in local communities, in their immediate host communities, on a free of charge basis. Professional development programs. SP professional development programs enhancing the skills and knowledge of Nigerian professionals in the oil, gas, and energy industry. Yeah, all of us know that SPE hosts industry networking events. Every SPE activity is a networking activity. It's usually interactive, and you definitely learn from there. You meet new people, you make new friends, and you increase and improve your net worth. SPE promotes collaboration and knowledge sharing among professionals in the energy, oil, and gas industry. So, call to action. As professionals, we have the power to redefine what it means to make an impact. Professional impact, positive impact. Let us choose to lead through service, prioritizing the needs of others, of our fellow team members, and creating a brighter future for all. Let us strive to leave a lasting legacy that inspires others to do the same. So I will leave you with these few questions. Ask yourself, ask yourself, how can I serve others today? Ask your team, young professionals, the YP, how can we serve our community, our immediate host community? Then ask your organization, SPE as a whole. You can even take it out of SPE, your company, your organization, where you work, where you go to make your daily living. How can we prioritize service and empathy in our culture? So, friends, together we can create a world where service is at the forefront of everything we do. But have it at the back of your mind that leading through service is purely volunteerism.
Thank you very much, sir.
With zero tolerance to failure. So thank you for listening. Sit back, enjoy the rest of the evening, and have mad fun. All right, back to you, moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that inspiring start. What a lovely opening remark. So, I would like to tell that our speaker is on the call with us. Welcome, sir. Welcome. And also, our ALP lead SB Worry section, Miss Julian, is also on the call with us. Welcome, Ma. Also, welcome, Miss AB. Welcome to the call. So moving on to the next section, a short video will be played so that we can move to our next section, which is the icebreaker session. So please. The video will be played shortly. Okay, it's time to challenge our brains, and I want to call on Miss Confidence Asukwo to take the stage. She will be handling the icebreaker session. Miss Confidence, please, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Good
thank you
evening,
so
everybody.
much.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Miss Catherine. Confirm you can hear me, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Whilst this is I'm Confidence Uko, and I'll be anchoring the icebreaker session here today. So before we have the video play, because that's where we'll be answering her questions from, I'd like us to react to her favorite emojis or comment where we are streaming from. So I know you're up and ready for this session. Let's show some reactions with your favorite emojis. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I'm not seeing any reactions. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
I'm not seeing any reactions. Okay, Kawa Precious has put the blessed emoji. All right, let's just get started. Okay, so after the video plays, we would have a series of questions we would be attempting from what the video teaches us. So I would like us to just sit back and watch the video attentively, take points, take notes. Yes, so you can let the video play. All right.
I noticed the sound is not audible for some people, so please just look at the write-up closely and you'll get the video.
Stop sharing. Sorry about that. So, if you guys want to continue, you guys want to go. Sorry about the audio.
Okay, Miss Confidence, can you hear me? Are you on the call with us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Please, you can go ahead with the eyes.
Okay. I guess we all have watched the video and clearly understood it. So now it's time for the questions. Please give me the next slide. Okay, so the first question says, a team member whose contribution doesn't add much to the overall result is called what? So please, let's use the chat box to answer the question. Okay, somebody said performer. Okay. Let's just say less effective doer. Okay. A less effective doer. Okay. Festus and Godwin. Okay. All right. Let's see what the answer says. Can you move the slide to the answer, please? Okay, so Festus and Samuel got it. Let's give them a virtual round of applause. Yeah. So let's move to the second question. Oh, that's a cheat there. I hope nobody saw that. All right, so the second question says, according to the video, what does PTS stand for? According to the video, what does PTS stand for? Okay, use the chat box. Ooh, this person, I guess. All right, so Dogo say potential solves trouble. Okay, let's get more answers. Okay, potential trouble source. First, you're laughing. I miss you saw it. Okay. Oh, somebody said, okay, we have three answers saying the same thing. Let's see what the correct answer says. Okay, let's see what the correct answer says. Please, the next slide. Okay, so all of you guys got it. I'll give you guys a virtual round of applause for that. Means you guys are listening. Okay. Okay, the next question, please. Okay, so it says the team member destroy others while hiding behind a social mask is known as what? The team member destroying others while hiding behind a social mask. Okay, our Miss Moderator says suppressive person. Okay. Oh, Carl James Cyprian said potentially trouble source. Are you actually the second on this one? Godwin Sampson said suppressive person. Okay. 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 So we got 3 suppressive person as answer. Okay, 4. 4. All right, let's see what the correct answer says. Wow, a suppressive person. Please, let's just take our time and just give ourselves a virtual round of applause. It means we really concentrated on the video. Okay, before we continue to the next question. I'm not seeing the reactions. I'm not seeing the reactions. Appreciate yourselves, please. All right, let's move on to the last but not the least question, the 4th question. Okay, it says, what role does a high performer play in a team? What role does a high performer play in a team? Okay. What role does a high performer play in a team? I'm not seeing the answers. Nobody's gives great support to the performer. I got Miss Samson. Okay. Some other person should answer now. So that okay, Carlo James says he knows where to go. Odogo PTI says carries out his duties. Okay. Okay. And what to do? Okay. Leads and card. Okay. Oh wow. Great, great, great responses. So let's see what the answer says. What the correct answer says. Okay, they drive results, take initiative, and inspire others to perform better. Okay. So I won't say anybody got it wrong, but we just needed some other keywords. You guys gave very good responses because yes. So a virtual round of applause for yourselves. I'm clapping for you guys too. Okay. Okay, the last questions for this segment says how many types of team members were identified in the video? Okay, let's see the smart let's see the swag. How many types of team members were identified in the video? 5. Godwin Samson. 5. Odogo said 5. Is it the Odogo Parara we all do? Okay. Okay, Festus said 5. Carlo James said 5. Everybody is saying 5. All right. Okay, our Miss Moderator said 4. Good. Okay, let's see what the final answer says. So only even after showing the answer, somebody mentioned 6. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so the correct answer is 4 times. All right, that brings us to the end of this segment. I want to appreciate all of all of you guys that have participated in it, and I can see that we are all hyped up for the lecture, and so I am. So let's just sit back and enjoy the rest of the activities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Confidence. That was such a lively session. I hope I'm going to get, a prize for my answer since I was the only one that got that last question. So thank you so much, Miss Confidence. Okay. So glad we're all warmed up. So to introduce our incredible guest, please welcome the president of SPA Funai chapter, Mr. Kawa Precious. Mr. Kawa Precious, please, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call.
All right,
Greetings,
lovely.
everyone. Thanks for having me,
Please,
moderator.
you're
It's an
welcome.
honor to be here virtually to introduce our guest speaker whose profile speaks of great impact. Please let me have the next slide. Please let me have the next slide if you can hear me. Okay, thank you. Alele Jude Ogenegara is a planning engineer at Tomba Resources Nigeria Limited, where he develops and manages project plans, coordinates cross-functional teams, and oversees execution to ensure projects are delivered safely, efficiently, and within budget. That is an excellent one. He previously served as an R&D engineer at Mojek International Limited, leading the design, testing, and development of smart metering technologies while supporting advanced metering infrastructure (AMI) systems for electricity distribution companies across Nigeria. So multitasking. His professional experience also spans electrical installations, quality assurance, and field operations. A first-class graduate of electrical and electronic engineering from Delta State University with MS in engineering in view. Jude is passionate about advancing energy systems through innovations, safety, and research-driven engineering solutions. He is a member of the Society of Petroleum Engineers (SPE) Warri Section 104, a graduate member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers (NSE), and an active contributor to professional and community development initiatives. What a resounding profile. Thanks for having me, moderator, and enjoy the rest of the stream. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Precious. Thank you so much. So now we are all excited to welcome our speaker, Mr. Jude, on the topic leading through service. Mr. Jude, please, are you on the call with us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening, everyone. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. You have the next 65 minutes.
Okay. Do I have permission to share my screen now? Can make me co-host or something. Okay, let's see.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So yeah, good evening, everyone, once again. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here amongst several other students here as well as other professionals. I don't know, can you still see my screen? Okay, let me share again. Okay, all right. So yeah, so like I was saying, I said it's an honor to be here amongst students and young professionals of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, especially being able to partner with student bodies of the SPA as well. I've been called upon to speak on something that I'm really like passionate about. something that is very like dear to my heart. So when it comes to leadership, I always enjoy talking about leadership in the few opportunities I've gotten to speak about leadership. I would want to work with time because I've been allocated 30 minutes, so should be sticking to that time frame. So I'm sharing my screen here. So I've been called to speak on leadership, and today's session we'll be talking about leading through service, redefining professional impacts. So let's get to points and see. Sorry, I think I'm having some issues with sharing. Okay, yeah. So our first module, I'm a fan of Maxwell, so I don't know how many of us have heard about Maxwell. So Maxwell is like one of the persons I look up to when it comes to leadership and all of these nuggets as well. So I believe in his principles a whole lot because of how he tries to explain leadership and tries to break it down to the simplest and the most basic way possible. So I would want to start with one of Maxwell's laws. You know, Maxwell had a book that he wrote, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and among several other leadership books that he has written, as well as those relating to power as well. So one of his laws talks about law of influence. So in Maxwell's law of influence, he tries to teach us that leadership is earned through influence, not just by the position that we occupy. So while we have organizational heads, you know, you have CEOs, managers, presidents, vice presidents, HROs, and the rest of them, they don't just bear such names because they are just there to like maybe as figureheads or whatever. They're there to actually influence whatever those who are assigned under them, or those who are like working under them should actually like the end results of it. So if you have a CEO, for example, the CEO's mission is definitely to see how a company at the end of the day can actually achieve their targets while also making profits and being able to like compete globally, nationally, or wherever you may see. So this is only possible when you have influence as a leader. So one of the things that leaders must have is what? Influence. So in all of my slides, if almost all of my slides, if not all, I've tried to create what I call like afterthoughts. So copying Stripe Masiyiwa. I don't know how many of us know Stripe Masiyiwa. So Stripe Masiyiwa tries to create afterthoughts of each of any salient points that he raises. So the afterthought for us here would be true leadership stems from the ability to inspire and guide others, regardless of former titles. So that's why you can see in certain situations where even people who are not leaders, who are not bearing any official title in your team, maybe in an organization where you serve, in your school, maybe even in your class, you might have someone who is not the class coordinator, and that person has lots of influence, is able to control the class. If that person says, for example, today we are going to boycott all lectures, everybody's going to stand behind that person, means that person has a lot of what influence. Some persons here in their classes, in their schools, they are not like they're not holding any position, they are not union presidents, they are not NSC executives, they are not even departmental body presidents or executives, they are not even class coordinators. But if you see how much influence they like control when it comes to, people actually like following them, it tells you a lot of the kind of persons that they are. So they have that leadership ability, that leadership power or that authority within them, that they are able to like attract other people who believe in what they have to what offer. So the next slide talks about our next slide talks about integrity. So oftentimes people talk about integrity a whole lot as like a cornerstone, like the major thing when it comes to a leader. We've had several leaders in Nigeria. So, the last president that we had spoke a lot about integrity, talked about how the number of houses, declaring his assets and the rest of them. So integrity always comes to play. Even as a person, where you even find yourself, you might not even be in official position or official capacity within your family, starting from the basic root of everything, socialism within your family there. You might also want to question yourself, your integrity status in your house. Are you the one that maybe when it comes to theft, if something is missing, are you the first person that they are going to call? Is it your that's going to ring the alarm, oh, it's sharing that story, this is Mr. This is story. So what goes through the mind of others when they come across your name in terms of integrity? So integrity is seen as that cornerstone of any responsible leadership. So here I've said that integrity is the alignment of actions with values. Again, I'm falling back to Maxwell again. I said Maxwell emphasizes that character is the foundation of effective leadership. So when you see, for example, a leader who has consistently like acts, ethically, even when he's unobserved. So nobody's even when nobody's watching you, or when you feel that no one is actually like watching, how is your behavior? Are you the one that, let's say you are a union president, you feel that, oh, the government is over, we've done this last exams for my tenure, the management is not monitoring their accounts, so I can just go connive with the treasurer, the secretary, the finance secretary, and maybe withdraw some huge chunk of money from their account, and nobody will go until maybe the new administration come, and by then I would have been done with the school. So sometimes it wants to question us. Integrity is, what are you doing even when no one is observing you? Are you doing the right thing? Are you following the right order? Are you actually like boycotting protocols? So in all of this, something that four three things that I try to coin around this is trust, self-discipline, self-discipline, honesty, and then inspiration. I brought these three out because I feel that there are some cornerstones, like some other milestones that you look at when you are referring to integrity. So when it comes to trust, you build trust. A leader actually builds trust through consistent ethical choices. So your choices, are they actually in line with the neighborhood that you find yourself, the organization that you find yourself? Are you actually like making your employees, your followers, those who are working with you, your team members, to believe in what you actually like stand to offer? Are you showing self-discipline and honesty? Is there some level of commitment to honesty even when facing adversity or personal loss? So people may be against you, people may be fighting you, people, maybe you have people who are against you, opposing you, and bringing all sorts of tantrums against you, raising them, even false accusation. Are you also standing your ground and being self-disciplined during this period? Are you sticking to your honesty? Or are you the type that something, maybe a few shakes here and there, and the next thing you're already resulting to something that is against the principle that you have always talked about? Another thing that you need to also have as a leader with integrity is something that I've coined inspiration. So leaders who embody themselves, in their stated values in every action actually set a perfect example. So this is also seen in one of Maxwell's laws where he talks about picture. We are like in the 21st century world where people actually learn better from what they see compared to what you actually tell them. So if I am a leader, for example, and then let's say maybe I've put a caution tape somewhere along the road and say do not pass, and then I expect everybody not to pass that same pace with the caution tape. But whereas when nobody is there, I will simply was raise up that caution tape and pass under it because it's a shorter cut to where I'm going to. So I'm not setting by example. I'm not doing by example. If I've said, for example, we need to cut our expenses, our spendings on on all of these position attachment in terms of security and the rest of them. And then when I'm moving in my convoy, I have like over 20 cars, following me. I'm not also leading by example because I'm living an expensive political lifestyle that is going to cost our government was more compared to actually like saving us. So those are just some few examples around, leading by a powerful example. So the next one talks about rethinking leadership from power to purpose. So as a country, as a people, as a nation, as a society, as an individual, as an organization, we need to rethink our leadership idea. Our ideology needs to go from leadership centered around power. One of the biggest challenges that we have as humans is because we think that there's so much power attached to leadership. We have the rights and the ability to do and undo. We can set on anybody, we can shout on anybody. The past few days has been very dramatic in the Nigerian space where we've seen a lot about the political and military clash in the person of our minister and then the naval officer. So those are the perfect example of how people have seen and then have tried to like kind of like abuse power. Yes, you cannot point fingers at any of the body that has been entirely wrong. Both individuals and both sectors have their faults to actually like take when it comes to that issue. So it just gives us like an insight into what leadership centered around power can actually like look like. So leadership is one of the most misused words that I have seen here, that as I've outlined here in our generation. So when we hear of leaders, we think of presidents, CEOs, directors, chairmen, CEO, HR, and the rest of them. In our union days, when we say someone, we just start hearing them, leader, 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 leader is around, and the rest of them. So those are one of the most misused word that I've said. So but leadership, the true leadership is not actually defined by the position you actually like occupy. It's more or less like defined by the influence that you have and the value that you actually like add. So ask yourself today, as a leader, as someone who claims to be a leader, how much influence have you had in the few months, the few weeks, the few days that you've been in that position? If nobody is actually benefiting from positively from your being a leader or occupying a position of leadership, then you need to question what kind of leader that you actually like are, or what kind of leadership you're actually like practicing in the recent. So I've left out another afterthought here, which is my second afterthought for today. I said true leadership begins from where service begins. So just before we continue, so that I don't bore you, I want to ask a question in the chat. So if you are with your phone there, or maybe you are with your device, whatever device you are joining in, just try to answer this question that I have put in the chat box now. So I said, in one mind, what comes to your, in one word, what comes to your mind when you hear selfless leadership? So you can just put in the chat box there. Let's see what we think about who a selfless leader is. So AB has said service. So when you hear selfless leadership, she thinks about service. Any other response there? Just keep the responses coming in. Sacrifice, leading with love. Yes, that's great. So, when you talk about selfless leadership, you're actually talking about these things that we have mentioned out there. Talking about sacrifice, talking about self, talking about leadership with love, but talking about leading by example. Talking about empathic leadership, as Francisca has rightly stated there. So they're talking about a whole lot of things in the recent, that you have to consider. Prioritizing the people being led, very nice one. So in general, like when you're looking at this, putting into consideration in people, okay, putting the people you lead into consideration. Thank you so much for that. So generally speaking, so this kind of like points us to one that all of us are actually like on same page together. So we actually have an idea who a selfless leader actually is, what leading through service actually what is. So it just dawns on us that deep down within each of us here, as one of those philosophers said, I didn't see Plato or Socrates. I talked about every human being good at the point of being born. But as we grow up, different things begin to interfere with this our the good that is within us, and it begins to pollute it little by little. So it means that within each of us, we already know and understand what and who a true leader should actually be, and who a selfless leader should actually be. So let's move forward. The power of service leadership. So aside Maxwell, someone else who I also look back when I'm talking when I'm asked to speak about leadership, when I talk about leadership, is Robert Greenleaf. He's oftentimes referred to as the father of servant leadership. And one of his quotes, which is my favorite, is that the servant leader is a servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. So if you look at this slogan of First Bank, it says what you first. So it means that the bank as a person, or the bank as an institute or an organization, has actually decided to put the customers what first. So that's the same thing that's expected of every leader, is to actually like put those who they are serving first. So it means that you have to like be able to do all of those sacrifices. You need to be able to think. You need to be able to have emotional and empathic intelligence. You need to be able to have the correct communication with the people that you actually lead. You need to be able to also continually show this continuous and willingness to always want to learn. So a lot of times I always post to my status, and then any of the write-up I do, I always talk about no end to learning. So a leader has to always have that character, that trait in him, that he wants to always learn. Because the moment you begin to say that you know it all as a leader, it begins to question your service leadership. Because when people suggest things to you, you would be reluctant to actually like buy into the suggestions that they are bringing forward to you. You're reluctant to actually hear the cries or the complaints of those that you actually like are lead are leading. So I've also said that servant leaders are people who actually place people before their position, purpose before prestige. So there are those leaders that will ask you, how can I help? Is there something wrong? How do we go about this? How do we resolve this? Do you have any issues that we need to resolve? Do you have any challenges? It's just like putting all of this into, maybe, in those days we used to have these suggestion boxes in campuses and around. even in organizations, used to have suggestion boxes, but these days they are slowly being replaced by technology where we now have survey forms, Google Forms, Survey Monkey, and the rest of them. So, these are kind of the questions that a servant leader should ask compared to what's in for me, what will I gain? You tell someone about something, maybe a project that you need to do as an organization. The next question that the leader is asking you is, what's in for me now? What will you give to the campuses? So we've had issues with some student union governments in some schools where we have tried to do some project in terms of like leadership seminars and maybe hold some conferences and webinars as well. The first thing that they want to ask you about when you tell them you have something that you want to come and do in their school is that what would the government benefit? So it's no longer what the people will benefit, it's now what would the government benefit? What would the executives benefit? So this question, the kind of leaders that we're actually like raising or that we're going to have tomorrow after this generation of leaders have like stopped ruling Nigeria. Yes, so I'm going to share with you my personal journey as a leader. So I started with leadership from the ground. So before this exposure as like a leader in a formal position, I would want to say, or a student union position, I've also been opportunity to serve in other smaller positions, like like we have in campuses, student union, students regulatory, what do you call it, representative council, SROC, the Senate, and the rest of them, where I was able to represent my department, faculty, and the rest of them. So I'm starting from this because sometimes people think that these positions are things that can't be overlooked. No, there are positions that actually like prepare you for the positions that you are going to occupy in the future. So people who have been successful as student leaders or as leaders in their church, their fellowship, or any other organization, maybe voluntary organization that they belong to, have oftentimes excelled. If they excel in those positions, when they now graduate into holding a bigger position, they tend to also do better compared to people who have zero exposure. So that's why you must also look at these experiences that you are gaining. I believe that we have presidents of maybe SP, student body chapters here as well, maybe other executives as well. So those positions that you hold are actually like very valuable. So for me, my own major position in student unionism began when I was student union government president in my campus. My campus was a small campus, relatively small one. We had about 1,000 or thereabouts students, maybe it's only 1,000 and 2,000 students because it was just the law faculty and then the engineering faculty domiciled there. So when I was there, I actually learned that leadership is not about just like any the title, presido, president, Mr. President. It actually like warranted me to like be responsible for whatever action I was taking or whatever action that the students union was actually taking or whatever communication that was moved from the management level down to the student level because students believed that they had someone representing them. So I saw this beyond the authority that it came with. So I was not someone that was going to be parading myself and saying, I'm SCG president, I'm speaking, who are you? Why are you speaking? Listen to me or keep quiet and the rest of them. I wanted people to be able to like um, you know, have that followership, that true followership based on the way I live my life and the kind of things that I was able to do. So we centered our government around a government that was there to serve, looking at how we could tackle the small issues, water, accommodation problems, security, campus, maybe in terms of the environment and the rest of them. So from small little projects we're able to do, we're able to now leave a lasting legacy behind. So some of the things that could actually help us as student leaders is actually what or leaders in general is when we're able to delegate authority rightly. So I was in final year when I was an SUG president. I was leading about 10 classes. That was 100 level to 500 level in engineering, 100 level to 500 level in law. We also had diploma students and some other intensive and the rest of them who were actually like still students of the campus. So, and I was also there battling with electrical engineering. So many of us who are engineers here, I believe all of us are actually engineering students or engineers here, um, would actually understand how complex it is to be studying engineering and also be also interested in doing politics, let alone be in electrical electronic engineering, which is like considered to be one of the hardest disciplines in engineering. So it meant that I needed to be able to perfect my delegation of authority, to be able to say, okay, I have an assistant, I have a vice, I have a secretary, you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to also have a shared vision that aligns with every member of your team. So I've again referenced Maxwell here. I said a leader who produces. Maxwell said, um, A leader who produces other leaders multiplies their influences. So if you can produce a leader that also shares your ideology, that way you are also reducing the stress and then the burden on you because you have someone who is going to be doing the things when you are not there. You also have to establish that mentorship culture as a leader. So if you have seen yourself as a great leader, you would also want to reproduce people like you, someone like you out there. So who are you mentoring as a leader? That's a question that you have to ask yourself today. As a leader who sees himself, all people have praised, are you actually mentoring someone to look like you when you are no longer there? Are you also living the life of a servant leader, prioritizing the needs of people that you lead before yourself? Yeah, so the next one is I'm going to be speaking on one of the mantra that the previous government led by late President Muhammadu Buhari. There used to be this ad on NTA and the rest of them that used to always sing, "Change begins with me, change begins with you and I," and the rest of them. So it's a very popular song, then a popular mantra, a slogan that the government try to promote, trying to teach us that the change does not begin in Aso Rock. So I'm bringing it down to Nigerian perspective now. So when we say the government is bad, the government is bad, the government is bad, that change that we're looking for doesn't actually necessarily start from Aso Rock. It actually starts with me. It starts with you. So we need to be able to choose fairness, transparency, integrity, in our little corners to be able to transform anything that any of the ugly situations that we see. So people complain about a bad government, the taxes here and there, talking about the policies, trying to strangle our neck, not allowing us to breathe, even if we're poor. So people are complaining about several policies within your own space as a leader. Are you also trying to strangle the people that you are leading? Are you fair in your policies? When you are trying to, for example, impose dues or whatever, trying to make these dues, are the dues fair to all? Are you the type that is also wanting to, by all means, introduce several unnecessary dues? Or in your place of work, when you are leading your team, are you the type that wants to step on every other team member who is not a team leader or who's not a team lead like yourself? So you have to ask yourself, because service leadership is about leading by example. So you need to be able to enforce laws and then, more or less like regulations that will be fair to everyone and will not choke the next person who you are, the person who you are leading, or people who you are leading. So you need to look at it on a personal point of view, a POV, the places that you have been assigned authority. How are you leading? Is your life a reflection of the change that you want to see in the government? Are you a corrupt person when you are given power? Are you someone that is extravagant with public funds? Those are the questions that you ask yourself before even thinking about blaming those who are in Aso Rock, those who are in Osadebe House, those who are in Marina House, or those who are in any of the houses that your state government's house is called. So yes, service leadership in student and professional bodies. So these are like four tenets that you need to like be able to ensure that you're actually like leading by service as a leader in any of these fields, whether it be a student or a professional body. So you need to ensure that you are leading fairly, you are a model in terms of service. You're also building trust and you're also inspiring growth in your through your leadership strategy. So leadership has to be about service. You have to be fair. You have to be accountable. You have to be able to inspire people. You have to be a model for anyone that you are leading or people that you are leading. You have to also ensure that people trust you. Once the people do not trust you, you are in trouble. So if there are issues, nobody's going to support you. During my time as union president, we had several issues that came on board. In student environment, it's always chaotic. Once you make one mistake like this, everybody wants to eat you. But the fact that I was able to build that trust amongst these students, these followers of mine, whenever there was an issue like that, I always had like this kind of like, people, those of us who watch football very well, who have seen how Lionel Messi moves around when he's in the Argentina team. You see how those people are guarding him, the likes of the Rodrigo, the Paul, and the rest of them. That's how I felt when we had ever had such issues like that. People were always surrounding me to give me that shelter, taking those bullets for me. It's not because I was like the best person, right? But because they felt that I've done enough for them to be able to trust me. Now, also in the professional space, sometimes when you have issues, is your manager able to shelter you because he feels that you are like someone who has gained his trust, or the trust of management. When you make a mistake, or when you err along the line, are those who are above you or those who you lead able to try to give you that protection? Once you don't get that protection, you need to now ask yourself that what are you doing wrong? You're doing something wrong that's making these people not to be able to protect you, not to be able to shield you. And finally, you must inspire growth. Servant leadership fuels innovation, loyalty, purpose, making the workplace and community stronger. So you must inspire that growth. You must be able to your end result at the end of the day must be able to result in a growth, a visible growth being seen in that community that you are leading. Then servant leadership at the workplace. So I've said that leadership is proven not by command but by connection. What's your connection with the people that you are leading? Are they seeing you as someone who is just authoritative? He just tells us, oh, get that done, get this done. So I work as a planning engineer, which means that I'm working with a diverse number of persons. So I'm working with engineers who are like on the field. I'm working with I'm working with those in the finance team, accounts. I'm working with project managers. That's my lead. I'm also working with several other technicians and all those who you can think of in the operations and the field sector. So it means that I'm going to be working with a diverse team, cross-functional team. So I've learned that in this my current role, I've learned that you could actually like um you can actually I've learned that trust and empathy actually turns plans into performance, which means that if I trust the next person very well, a team member with the responsibilities or the tasks that I've assigned to them, I would be able to actually actualize the result that we set out to. I've actually now made them to be able to now believe in any of the things that we have when it comes to planning. So we're planning a job, for example, and then we know the job is to be executed, let's say by next weekend. What I do is to try to see, okay, how can I follow up with the different persons who are actually key to making that job actually like be safely executed, because you don't want to also encounter any severe injuries or fatalities while you are executing a project of such that's considered as a high risk job. So you want to be able to ensure that people actually feel valued when they are sharing their opinion during these planning stages as well. So I'm also very open to getting ideas, and working as a team to see how we can now better plan that job to be able to deliver. So servant leaders must be able to build that loyalty, innovation, and then at the end of the day, create a lasting impact. So what position are you working in? What position are you serving in currently? Are you being a servant leader? So the afterthought 3 year I've left with us is Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela is very popular, amongst Africans and also globally, looking at how much sacrifices he made in the South Africa that we know. South Africa of before and also the South Africa of today as well. So in Nelson Mandela, we saw that true leaders can actually earn loyalty, not through power, but through empathy and service. The people of South Africa believed in Nelson Mandela because he was able to show this connection with them, not necessarily because he showed power or anything. So leadership as a chain reaction. So many of us who definitely all of us are science students, so we have some form of understanding of chemistry, when it comes to chain reaction. So it continues happening like it's continuous. So you see how it goes from one stage to the other. The former ignites the next one and it continues rolling over. Just like some of us who play not a very valid, not a professional advice, but those of us who are into who do betting, and then you say you are doing a rollover. So you are playing from one, and the next one you are carrying the money to stake for the next one, and the rest of them. Just like an example to understand what this chain reaction actually like implies. So we see that leadership through service is something that should be contagious. So it's just like you have COVID-19 and you're spreading to the next person. So your selfless leadership spirit should be able to go from one person to the next. You should be able to reflect on the next follower, on the next executive that you have. And one of the best and the purest form of doing this is through what? Mentorship. So you have to be able to mentor people as a leader. The afterthought I've left here for us is that the afterthought elsewhere. So you need to be able to lead or lift others to lead, even in your presence and also in your absence, so that when you are not there anymore, the next person would be able to hold that position and also lead perfectly as you have done. So rounding up, integrity and competence, so they are like seen as a dual engine of impact. And impact is required for every selfless leader, because that's how your selflessness is being measured, and then your leadership is being measured. What impact did you have when you're occupying that position? So when you say service is you are being of service to your people, if there is no competence shown, it is just there. So there's no value. You are just sitting in a position, even though you are doing boy or being loyal to everybody, being selfless. If competence is not there at the end of the day, such a leadership is of what is wasted. So integrity and competence goes together to give us that dual engine to be able to propel us as selfless leaders. Yes, so the call to action for us today would be, should be able to start from what small. So you don't need to wait to occupy a big position. You don't need to wait to become a project manager. You don't need to become a director. You don't need to become a manager of an organization, maybe a startup or even an IOC, or the case may be. Many of us here are interested in working in IOC. So you don't have to wait for that position, that opportunity to come. From that small position that you are holding, what are you doing differently? You have to be able to start small. From the society, the departmental body that you have, Society of Petroleum Engineers, Society of Chemical Engineers, Society of Electrical Engineers, Society of mechanical engineers, civil engineers, and the rest of them, Nigeria Society of Engineers, NOESA, and the rest of them. What are you doing differently there? So you need to be able to show that difference, that you are in that small position. Mentor at least one person as a leader. You must be able to have somebody that calls you your mentee. Once you do not have that, then you're already like leading wrong. You have to be able to show someone that this is my boy, this is my girl, this is somebody I'm training, this is somebody I'm raising to be a better version of me. You have to also volunteer. Our award chairperson, engineer, also who gave us the opening remarks, spoke heavily on the value of volunteering. You also have to volunteer, and the perfect place for us to volunteer as young engineers, as young professionals, is through the SP. While there are several other student bodies and also NGOs like Rotary and the rest of them, which I also belong to. The SPE gives us this opportunity to also volunteer. Use your skills to actually propel and also promote engineering in Nigeria and also in your immediate community. Lead projects, have a small project that you are leading. Don't shy away from being assigned a leadership position when it comes to a project. Always speak the truth, even when everybody is telling a lie, or even when that truth is not popular in that setup. So if you must create that different society that you crave to see, if you are a fan of the United States of America, you're a fan of France, you're a fan of that country that you think that you want to go to, what are you doing differently here in Nigeria to actually make your country look like it or look like them? And that question is left for us to like ponder upon. And you must look at it from this manner, that the change begins with me, change begins with you, and the change begins with me and you, which makes up us. So conclusively, leadership, I've said that in my conclusion, I've said leadership is a responsibility that extends beyond personal ambition. So it's about influencing others positively, acting with integrity, serving selflessly, and committing to continuous growth wherever we find ourselves. As emerging leaders, let us answer this call to lead with purpose and humility, always striving to uplift those around us while leading in a manner that we have pictured in an ideal leader. So when history remembers you, what will it remember you for? Today we talk about the likes of Nelson Mandela, we talk about the likes of Strive Masiyiwa, we talk about maybe the Elon Musk when it comes to the financial aspect. We talk about, several other persons. If you look at the religious aspects, we have so many people that we look at as our daddy geos, mommy geos, people who have died also, who we also think are like the right model. We have the Ngozi Iwelas, who people look up to. We have Chimamanda, who people look up to also. So when people will mention your name tomorrow, when people mention Jude Alile, what will people remember me for tomorrow? What will people remember you for? When people mention Ebuka, when people mention Oge, what will you be remembered for? Will it be as someone who waited for a change, or someone who became the change that they were waiting for? So this answer depends on how you choose to lead today and every other day. So thank you so much. This is my lecture. This is the brief I've had to share. So if we have, thank you for paying attention as well. So I'll hand over back to the moderator to lead the question segment if there are any.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a really beautiful session. And I hope we all have something to take home. Like our speaker said, true leadership begins with service, and start with what you have. Start now, start small. So thank you so much to our speaker for such a wonderful session. Moving on is our photograph session. So please, that will be handled by Mr. Ubogobong Emmanuel. Please, are you on the call with us?
Yes. Good evening. Thank you very much, Ms.
Oh,
Ma'am.
sorry. Before the question and answer session, I'm so sorry. Photograph session, like I said, please let us all turn on our camera just for 3 minutes while everyone, before we get to the question and answer session. So please turn on your camera. Let's capture this moment. I hope we all know the reply to the response to SPE, which is Solution People's Energy. So please, it's time to turn on your cameras. Let's see your beautiful faces before we move on to the question and answer session. Okay. All right. SPE, please, you can turn on your mic and respond. SPE.
Solutions People Energy.
SPE.
People Energy.
Thank you so much. You can turn off your camera. Thank you, and your mic. All right, Mr. Ubogobong, please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Moderator. Thank you very much, Mr. Jude, for that insightful and impactful session. It was indeed a valuable breakdown on leadership through service. So at this point, we will move straight into the question and answer session. And anchoring this session is my humble self, Mr. Ubogobong Emmanuel, the communications chairperson for SP University of Uyochata. We move straight to the question and answer session, a chance for you all to interact directly with our speaker. So, a quick one, if you have any question, you can please type it in the chat box, or you show by raising your hand so that we can unmute you to speak. And please, let's keep our questions clear and brief to allow more people to participate. Okay, so if you have questions, you can please use the chat. I'm taking just few questions because
Okay, someone's hand is up. Mr.
okay, yeah,
Godwin.
Mr. Godwin, I'm seeing your hand. Please, you can mute yourself and speak.
Good evening, good evening, everyone. I am very grateful for this session, as I have learned a lot. My question is, as a leader, when you are working with difficult people, people who, no matter what you do, they don't budge, they are hard nuts to, you find it difficult to influence them. And, sometimes they turn on your red button. You know what I mean by red button? You become harsh on them because of their inability to comply with simple regulations, right? Something you have tried to influence them to do, but they've refused to do. So how do you comply? How do you change? Okay, should I say change? How do you correct such people so that they comply with the regulations, so that they relate well with you as a leader? Perhaps you may have started on a wrong foot. So how do you correct that so that the people that you are leading will not see you as that harsh leader, but they will understand your point and follow you better? That's the first question. The second question, you made a statement that as a leader you should try to lead others to lead. Now, you mentioned that you can have a mentee, okay, someone that you are bringing up. How can you do this effectively with a large number of people? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin, for your question. So, Mr. Jude, over to you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Gordon, for your question. Very valid question. So I will start with the last one. So we talked about we're trying to like get a mentee or trying to create another leader who is like a reflection of you if you're a true service leader. So yes, I talked about that, and my intention for that is that oftentimes when we look at how the situation or certain things, maybe we might have occupied a position, and during that period, we've actually raised the standard up to an extent. Like we've raised the bar. Let me use that word, that phrase. We've raised the bar, and then only for us to come back a few years, 1 or 2 years later, to see that whatever things that we said, whatever standards that we said there, have now gone below expectations. So we now have a very non-functional system. So the ideology behind this is not to create that very bad, that corrupt Nigerian godfatherism that we have. It's more or less like trying to create persons who, or should I say, to actually like instill in other people who were your followers that same gift that you had, that special gift that when it comes to leadership, how you were able to lead other students, to be able to lead your team members, be able to make sure that you actualize your goals, meet your targets, your milestones, and the rest, like you have in project management. So to be able to do that, you don't need to necessarily pick everyone. Sometimes you even have people who are interested. You see this, for example, me, I use myself as a case study. At my place of work, I have a few project managers who like I work with, and some other engineers who I work with, and I try to amongst them, I know amongst them a few of them who I want to learn something from. So if you observe me very well at work, I'm always trying to strike a conversation with one of them or the other one, just to be able to get something. So sometimes the person even shows that interest in wanting to learn from you. You might have some persons who naturally will be volunteering to do some things. They will just on their own volunteer that, I want to be taking it for you, I want to be helping you do this, I want to help you do that. So such a person has already shown interest in wanting to learn from you. So it has even saved you the stress in trying to identify from the gap or from that pool of persons who to mentor. I tell you my own story. When it comes to student unionism, I was never interested in unionism. I wanted to just go to school, come out with a good grade. But along the line, someone spotted me. I was like, this guy would be someone that would be a great leader, in my hostel then. And he walked up to me and gave me the SRC from bought the SRC from me. From there, I went to SSS. From there, I went to student union president. So you can look at the ladder with which I climbed. So someone needed to spark that interest in me for me to be able to start that leadership mantra. So some persons is like that. For some, it's born within them, inherent right from day one. As soon as they get to school, they want to occupy that coordinator position. So sometimes you need to just be able to look out for that person that is showing that willingness, that zeal to want to lead. Some other times you might see that spirit in someone, that willingness, that leadership, that selfless leadership within them. You spot it, and then you now take it upon yourself to want to mentor such a person. Then going to your first question, So one of the steps, definitely you meet such persons everywhere. So that's a very valid question. You meet people who are hard to difficult, who will even frustrate all your efforts, especially in planning and trying to manage a project. For example, you are saying A, you are telling them to do A, you're telling them to go by your plan, the project's execution plan that you have developed or something, and someone else is doing B or doing the opposite of that. Such a person can actually try to frustrate you. So what you can do is to try to continuously the first thing that you can even do is to try to understand what the person's problem might be. So not to be harsh on them. It might be that they don't even understand, they don't comprehend what you have been saying ever since. Maybe you're telling them to do it this way or act this way, but they really do not understand what acting that way means. So you need to understand what the issue may be with them in the first instance. When you understand why they're actually giving that form of resistance, why they are resisting to your instructions, or maybe your plans or the policies that you have laid or the regulations that I've laid, you will now be able to now better handle the situation. It's like seeing two people fighting, and then you are quick to just take the side of the first person that you saw receiving the blow because someone else blew him. So what if the person that was receiving the blow was actually the person that first of all slapped before coming? So you need to understand what the people or the person's issue could actually be stemming from. When you understand that, you can now begin to have that clarity in terms of, knowing where the issue is and then trying to know how to go about addressing it. So after getting this understanding and then a clear picture of what the situation is, you must now continue to remain consistent. You can have it by having small pep talks with the person there and there, trying to see if you can bring about a change. So you don't always have to always escalate to leadership or escalate to the HR or escalate to your lead in certain situation. You try to see how you can control that situation as a leader or as a team lead first before escalating. So when you have all of this in place, you'll be able to now better manage that person. And by the time you continue to do this consistently, you might see some elements of changes within that person because you are doing it in a respectful manner. You're not humiliating the person. You're not showing any form of disregard for the human that person is.
Very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jude, for that wonderful answer. Okay, there's no question on the chat box, so I will believe that each and every one of us here are satisfied with this session. So thank you very much for everyone who asked questions, Mr. Samson. Thank you, and big thank you to our speaker once again for his thoughtful response. We have truly gained a lot today. So I will now hand over to our moderator, Ms. Catherine, to continue with the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oborobong. Thank you for that. Please, if you have any other question, you can send it into the chat box. It will be handled by the speaker. So I would also love to recognize the current and technical team lead for SB Worry section, Mr. Paul Alabi. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us today. The
Right.
call. I hope you can hear me. Okay. So it's time for this little quiz. This is where we prove we have been paying attention. We have 10 minutes to crown the champion. And this session will be handled by Miss Juliana. Miss Juliana, please, are you on the call? The ALP lead. So please pay attention and make sure you are ready. Miss Juliana, please, are you on the call?
Yes, please confirm you can hear me, Catherine.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for such a wonderful moderation. Thank you to our speaker. I'll be dropping a link. I just dropped a link in the chat box. So please click on the link and join in. Just click on the link and join in. All right, I'll be sharing my screen in a minute. All right. Thank you so much to our speaker for such an insightful lecture. Yes, our speaker today is someone I know personally. He was my classmate in school, and I saw him lead excellently. And I felt, why not him come to share his experience with us? And yes, he did a good job to that. All right. So we'll be going into it immediately without wasting time. All right, please, can you confirm you can see my screen? Can you
Yes,
see my
we can.
screen? Okay, all right. So please join in. I just dropped the link on the chat box. Okay. We need more people to join in. Just click on the link and join in, and we'll start shortly. Mm. Okay. Um, please click on the link to join. Okay, I can see Favor. Favor Odogu is on the has joined in. We have Bokobong has joined in. We can be more. We have exciting prizes for the winners, so please join in. I'm sure we all listened to today's topic. Some questions will be from there and just general knowledge. All right. We just have two people. Okay. We have Mrs. Francisca. She's on the call. She has joined in. We have TA. Okay. We can be more. Please join in. Okay. We just have four. Okay. We can be more. We're about to start. Please join in. Click on the link and join in. It's on the chat box. Just click on it and join in. Okay. All right. We just have four participants. We have big prizes for the winner. So just four people. Okay, we have Anthony has joined. Okay, people can be up to 10. That would be excellent. That would be nice. Okay, let's start. Okay. According to the speaker, what truly defines leadership? Okay. We have our countdown. Okay. So let's reveal the answer. Okay, the influence you exert and the value you add. Okay, so next question. SP International Headquarters is located in which city? Located in which city? Oh, sorry about that. Okay, it's located in which city? And I think everyone got this. Okay. Okay, everyone got this. So let's show the ladder board. Okay, Favor Odogu is leading, followed by Anthony, and we have TA as the third position. Okay, let's move on. The third question, who is the current SPEI president? Who is the current SPEI president? Okay, remember accuracy and speed. Okay. All right, let's reveal the answer. Oliver Jose is the current SPEI president. All right, let's show the leaderboard. Okay, Favor Odogu is still winning. This Odogu is Odogu, you know. Followed by TA, and we have Ubukobong in the third position. Right, it's not over. We have the fourth question. What is the main focus of the YP group within the SPE Worry session? What is the main focus? Is it providing job placement and internship for new graduates, coordinating mentorship programs, or enhancing leadership, technical competence? Right, let's reveal the answer. And it's enhancing leadership, technical competence, and networking among early career professionals. All right, let's see who's leading. Okay, Favor Odogu is still leading. Odogu, followed by TA and Ubukobo. Okay, nice one. All right, the fifth question. Why does ice float on water? Why does ice float on water? Ice is less dense than water due to the molecular arrangement during freezing. Ice has more air trapped in it, making it lighter than water. Okay, no one. The freezing process reduces. Okay, I think the answers are scattered in this one. Right, let's reveal the answer. Okay, the correct answer is ice is less dense than water due to the molecular arrangement during freezing. That is why ice floats on water. Okay, let's show the leaderboard. Okay, Favor Odogu is still winning and Bokobong has come to the second position. All right, next question. Okay, who was the first woman to serve as Prime Minister of a country? Who was the first woman to serve as Prime Minister of a country? Let's check those that know their current affairs. Okay, locks in less than 5 seconds. Okay, seems like everyone is going the same way. Okay, let's reveal the answer. Okay, no one got this. Okay. All right. Okay. The Odogu is still on the top. So let's move on to the next question. Which U.S. president served two non-consecutive terms? Two non-consecutive terms. Is it Franklin D. Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, Grover Cleveland? Okay. Remember accuracy and speed. Accuracy and speed. Okay. 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 So let's reveal the answer. No one got this. And the answer is Grover Cleveland. Okay, let's show the leaderboard. Leaderboard still has Favor Odogu on top, followed by Ubokobong. All right, let's check if maybe something can happen with the eighth question. Why is service considered the foundation of effective leadership? Why is service considered the foundation of effective leadership? Is it because it helps leaders gain loyalty and compliance? Is it because it builds trust and inspires meaningful impact? Or is it because it ensures maintains professional recognition? Okay, okay. That's the answer. It builds trust and inspires meaningful impact. Okay, let's see the leaderboard. Oh, you guys have betrayed my Odogu. Bokobank seat on top, but who knows? Can it last the test of time? Let's see. All right, to the next question. What best defines true leadership? According to our speaker, what best defines true leadership? Is it exercising authority to get results? Influencing others through empathy and purpose? Managing people to achieve organizational goals? What best defines true leadership? Okay, let's see this. Influencing others through empathy and purpose. Indeed, a good leader should be empathetic. All right. Okay, Bokobank still on top. My Odogo is second and CA is third. A miracle can still happen. I don't know why, but as your bias, but my Odogo. All right, 10 questions. According to the speaker, integrity is the alignment of actions with values. Maxwell emphasizes that character is the foundation of effective leadership. Based on this, what is the primary reason a leader's unseen ethical actions are important? Okay. All right. The build trust and set it. They make the leader appear more intelligent. Okay. Let's reveal the answer. Okay. The build trust and set a standard for others to follow. Okay. Let's reveal the final ladder board. Please unmute if you're not speaking. Oh, just like I said, Favor Dogu, he came back. Accuracy and speed. Both of them are same point, but you see the time difference. Favor Dogu, congratulations. Bukobon, congratulations. TA, congratulations. Antonia and Miss Francisca, congratulations. You're also a winner. Please reach out to me. I'll be dropping my number on the chat box and come and claim your exciting prize. Odogu, all right, from here, I'll stop sharing and over to you, moderator. It was such a nice time. All right, thank you.
Delta State. Lessons and
All right, over to you, moderator. And congratulations to the
All right.
winners again.
Okay. All right. Wow. I was rooting for Odogu. Oh well. Oh, that was really a wonderful game. Next up, we have the announcement. Please, the next slide. Yes, okay. The announcement will be taken by Mr. Umo Iberedem and also Miss AB, the ALP co-lead. So, Mr. Umo, you have the floor.
Please, can you hear me? Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Umo Iberedem, the technical director for Society of Petroleum Engineer, UNIO chapter, and I'll be taking the announcement for today. Let's go. So the Society of Petroleum Engineers, Section 104 Warri, is inviting you all for its annual student graduation symposium with the theme Bridging the Gap, Turning Academic Knowledge into Industrial Impact. The date and time for the impactful event will be on Saturday, 29th November 2025 via Zoom by 4:30 p.m., where some great minds such as the SPA Regional Activities Manager, Africa, Europe, in the person of Mr. Ola Davis, the Vice President, Operations and Asset Management, Chapal Energies Mauritius Limited, in the person of Mr. Oladipo H. as HAFO, the co-founder and senior product manager of Cloudmail Africa, in the person of Mr. Samson Osijo, Miss Peace Chukwa, sorry for the pronunciation, from Seplat Energy, Mr. Okheneroye Peter from NEPL, sorry for the pronunciation as well. And the research assistant from the University of Oklahoma, in the person of Yola. I promise you all it's gonna be a fun and exciting time, from icebreaker sessions, keynote speech, panel sessions, students to YP conversion, kudo board display, games, and lots more. Thank you once again, and we're excited to see you all there. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Umo, for that announcement. Please confirm you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Over to you, moderator.
All right. So the SP Warri section 104, the young professionals are in the season of calling for support, and it's a call to action to support SP Warri section 104 outreach initiative. The SP Warri section 104 is reaching out to you for your generous donations and contribution to support the upcoming orphanage visit and secondary school outreach program. The goal is to raise 1 million naira to provide essential amenities for these communities. This initiative is part of our ongoing commitment to making a positive impact, transforming lives, and contributing to the growth of our community and nation. Every contribution counts, and we invite you to join us in this noble cause. You can donate any amount you can afford, whether financial or in kind. Together, let's make a difference. the account details is mentioned on the flyer. So we are reaching out for support. Please, in your own little way, if you can support in kind, if you can support financially, it will all be appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. AB. So moving on to the membership drive, which will also be handled by Ms. AB. So please, you can turn on your mic and the floor is yours.
All right, yeah, thank you, Catherine. So please, the next slide, yeah. The next slide. Okay, so the SP Worry Section 104 is extending our hands to reach out to more members this year. So you can become an SP member today. If you're on the call and you're not an SP member, or you're not belonging to any student chapter, SP Worry is giving you that room, is opening our arms to welcome you into our session. So benefits of being an SP members, first of all, you get first-hand internship and career information. You have mentorship programs from industry leaders. Scholarships and training, access to our vast technical and professional resource library / knowledge base, network with industrial leaders and professionals, both locally and international, lots more. So the SP Worry section is inviting you as a student, you that is a YP that is here, that is not belonging to a section. SP Worry is open to you. So if you could look at the screen now, you will see a form. We have a form that is a Google form that is there. So in case you would love to be part of the team, you will just have to click on that and fill in your information, and we will definitely get back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. AB. Thank you so much for that. Please do well to screenshot and scan the QR code. So thank you, everyone. Now, for the final bow on our incredible program, we invite Ms. Francisca from SPYP Worry section for our closing remark. Ms. Francisca, are you on the call?
Yes, I am on the call. I
Thank
don't know.
you.
Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay, so it's been a great session today, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone who participated. Everyone did amazing. And this is me saying, I'm going to start first from appreciating the YP group, and that is Temi Tope, Umo, me, Juliana, Kri, and AB, among others who have been able to make sure that we established what the leadership conference today was about. With all pleasure, I would also say thank you to Engineer Christopher Equator, who opened today's ceremony, talking about a lot about how leadership complexity shows more empathy and what we need to do to empower our career in all works that we find ourselves. Also, not to downplay that we had confidence at Sukwo, who did more on what we did today during the session she had. We also had Karma Precious. It was an amazing time. And then to top the highlights will be our guest hosts, Alele Jude Ogene Gary. He told us a lot of things during the session about trust, about self-discipline, honesty, and to top it up, that leadership in a circle of service is more powerful than any other thing, using Maxwell theory as an option. Thank you, Alele Jude Ogenekaro. You've given us a lot of insights. You have built a responsive towards to understand what leadership is about. To crown it up, I have a series of highlights I want us to take home today. that at the heart of every great achievement is a leader who doesn't just direct, but demonstrates. We also have to ask ourselves, how do we prove leadership by example, by standard, and to act with integrity? We also have to act with purpose, and we inspire others through our action. I would say today has been an amazing time, not to say the least. Thank you, Juliana OJ, for taking trust in me to close the ceremony. I hope to be a part of more events. And I would say the YP team from Uyo and the YP team from the Worry angle, they've done amazing well to put this together. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate everyone. To the leaders who we stand to be tomorrow, we will show our services. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Francisca, for wrapping up so perfectly. A massive thank you to our incredible speaker who took the topic Leading Through Service, Redefining Professional Impact. Also, thank you to all action parties, Engineer Ogwatu, Ms. Confidence, Ms. Ogbonna, Mr. Kawa Precious, Mr. Oborobong, Mr. Umor, Ms. Francisca, and especially to all of you, our amazing audience. This officially concludes the Ambassador Lecture Program. We hope to have you feeling inspired, engaged, and ready to lead through service. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you at the next event. So, bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Please, the winners should reach out to me, first to third position. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Catherine. Such wonderful moderation.